What up, though?
What
Ha!
up,
You're
y'all?
so stupid.
Ha ha! Happy Friday! Got your ass!
Okay, then. And here we are. All right, so our smoke of the app to get us started is going to be Jeter's 1 gram peaches, House of Dank, 15% off Sunday through Thursday from 9 to noon on anything that is not on sale. There you go. You even have it up. There we go. Yes. Okay. All right. Anywhoozle. Okay, to get it started, prosecutors, though, I haven't thoroughly been following this story like this, but there was something that caught me when it said, and it wasn't the title of prosecutor says a Michigan police officer who killed a who killed a black motorist won't face a second trial, because none of that surprises me much more anymore. Anyways, but whenever the person was shot in the back of that head, it kind of makes you think otherwise. Because at the end of the day, I don't understand how you can shoot somebody in the back of the head and that not be somehow notion to want to kill somebody. But they are not going to go further for a second trial due to the fact that the jury itself, it was hung. They weren't going to get anywhere with that jury. So they decided they decided not to take it to a trial again, but they never said that they weren't going to pursue state charges. So at the end of the day, the situation still is not done, because there was a traffic stop, fight started, whatever the case may be. Because the thing is times are on fire right now, and I expect it.
Man, tension
But
is
the
high.
thing is, though, is the intention to kill somebody is still there, because I don't get how you can still possibly shoot somebody in the back of the head and call it self-defense. Like, I don't get how you could be literally somehow shoot unless you're on top of them or behind them, where you shoot them in the back of the head.
We just got a bunch of, there's no nice way to say it. We just got a bunch of cowards that are dressed up as police officers, because
What did they used to call them back in the day?
number one.
What they used to call the cops back in the day? No, way back in the day. What were they originally called? But they just changed faces now. They used to round people up with the slaves.
Lynch mob?
No, not the lynch mob. No, they would be the ones who would track the runaway slaves.
So what do they call them? I'm not getting it.
You can Google it later. That's all they've done. Because at the end of the day, even though every time we have came across videos of how cops can bully, take a life.
The main thing that you cannot do when interacting with the police officer, if you are pretty much any color, it don't matter what color you are, but definitely if you're not white, you definitely don't want to not obey their orders. You want to comply, because if you don't comply, their feelings get hurt and they just lose all sense of
unless
common
you know
sense.
the law.
They don't be caring about their job.
Don't say anything. You don't consent to a search.
People that lost their jobs.
Because at the end of the day, if you say you don't, you plead your fifth. Period. You do not consent to a search. Period. And if they still search your vehicle, they then can get in trouble for doing that, and the case can be thrown out. Don't let these other people out here scare you from knowing what you're allowed to do, because you don't have to sit here and comply. Comply for why? For why?
And it is not against the law to curse at the police
No,
officer.
it's not.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is
That
bullshit.
is your First Amendment right.
can
You are
do
allowed
that.
to do
this
that.
This is America. But when you do that, they
get mad.
Get
butthurt.
Because you're disrespecting their authority. Oh my. You're not listening. Calm down. Relax. Relax.
Because
you're supposed to be like an obedient
how many times? When was the last time you used? When was the last time you...
You got any weapons in the car? Oh, here's their favorite one. I smell weed coming from the car. Motherfucker, you smell weed coming from everybody's car now. The shit's legal. The fuck?
Pick a car.
Weirdo.
Pick a car.
Stupid.
Pick a car. Pick a car. But still, they are going to probably, more than likely, pick up with state charges instead and go from that route if they're smart and they decide to go through there. But from my understanding, the prosecutor that said they're not going to go for the second trial is not one to do that easily. He does not like a loss. But what he doesn't want to happen is him get acquitted. Because if you get acquitted, there's nothing. You can't. Because what if it gets to the point where you can't take them to trial again, whether it's state or civil or federal? You may as well take that little L and go on to the next one, because at the end of the day, just like George Floyd's murderer, he still has state charges to go to.
And we like to segue. So the segue was when she said, even if you take it to trial. So speaking of trial,
Lord have mercy,
I know your ears have been buzzing. I know you have been watching, or you have been seeing little clips of what's going on with the trial of the Diddler.
The Diddler.
The Diddler is on trial, and people have even come from the grave to speak about this man's exploits.
How are they coming from the grave?
Well, there was a tape that was played. Oh boy, needs battery life. There was a tape that was played in court, and the voice that was on the tape,
Lord have mercy,
the voice that was on the tape was not the same voice that we remember, but we recognize the voice. Very calm, deeper voice, laid back. It was Prince Rogers Nelson.
Prince Rogers Nelson.
Prince says that he saw so many things and that he did not speak out because he saw what happened to the people that did. He saw them not disappear, necessarily die, but he saw their careers take a turn for the worst. Tour dates disappear, endorsements disappear because they had crossed a certain person. He says that on the tape, he said that he spoke to Diddy more than once about his manipulation of artists and blackmail and whatnot. And what echoed through the courtroom was when he said, "You might be Prince, but you're not untouchable." It silenced the courtroom. But then there's more.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. He spoke of,
I want Prince's death looked into.
He spoke of specific places that could have been corroborated by Cassie Ventura's testimony, of places that these things had happened. But I know we like to segue, and so before we segue off of this, because this is a hot topic, you can definitely check it out anywhere on this platform and other platforms.
Yeah, every platform you go to,
they're going to be talking about the Diddler and Cassie Ventura. But before we segue, I do want to say, now that we're a couple days into this trial, there have been things that have come to light that shine Cassie Ventura in a completely different light.
I want to know how many of them have been in an abusive relationship. or how many of them been the abuser in the relationship that has something smart to say when it comes to
I
how
don't
Cassie did
know.
stuff?
I don't know. All I know is that just being from the outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff looks like she still had her hands in some of it.
How old was she again? How old was she? She was young as hell.
22,
Right. Well,
22.
are you sure 22 or 19?
Was she 19?
Was she
Now she's
19?
22.
Cassie?
I don't know. I don't know.
Cassie was like 19 when she met him.
So she's 22 now, or is she 25 now? What is she?
I don't know, but I know that she was still young.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, if you've ever been in an actual manipulative, narcissistic, abusive relationship, or if you were the abuser, narcissistic piece of shit in the relationship,
None of the above.
then you should know that how this kind of works, especially when it comes to young-minded women. And at the end of the day, you don't know what it's like to be in that kind of a relationship and how hard it is to really leave a relationship like that.
Well, the testimony and a lot of
Did
the
she
stuff
also
that they-
state in the text that she enjoyed getting the shit beat out of her?
No, she didn't.
She
say
didn't.
that.
She
No,
didn't enjoy the boat beating, right? Where
But they
we
did
were
a lot of
wondering.
passing. They did a lot of passing her around, and I mean, it's just a lot of the testimony doesn't shine a favorable light on her either.
Well, I mean, she wasn't perfect, and it shouldn't. I mean, she should feel guilt. Okay, she should feel guilt. Absolutely. I'm not saying she shouldn't feel that, but at the same time, people are always asking, well, why did she stay? Have you ever been in a relationship like that?
I can't say that I
All
have.
right. I think I have. Because at the same time, what did he offer me? Okay, then. So, at the same time, if you've never dealt with it or you have not been that kind of a person.
Did we talk about these?
Oh, no, we did not. It's kind of stronger than what I remember. But they're the pleasantries.
They are also from House of Eight.
Yes. 30 milligrams. So, but all right. So before we get too off into the distance, because like I said, I was going to do this every episode in remembrance of every life that I could find and do enough of what I felt did somewhat justice for the people who have lost their lives from police brutality.
The many. We are legion.
Jesus, you could only know. So, who remembers Yvette Smith? Okay. Okay, she was 47 years old, housekeeper and a mother of 3, was shot and killed at her friend's house by Daniel Willis, a Bastrop County, Texas sheriff's deputy who was called to settle a dispute. She had called 911 after she tried several times to settle the argument between a father and his son. So a family dispute. All right. Now, on the 16th of February of 2014, the deputies were called to the home to investigate the domestic violence between the 2 men who had lived in the household. When they arrived, Yvette Smith complied with their request to open the front door and was almost immediately shot in the head and abdomen. Officers initially claimed Smith had a gun, but recanted that statement later the next day. Ironically, the dispute was settled before officials arrived. The owner of the house, Willie Thomas, was outside when police arrived and told all other residents to come outside as well. A deputy's body cam footage revealed that Yvette Smith was shot 3 seconds after opening the door. The sheriff's deputy shot her twice with his personal AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle.
Wow.
You need that for a domestic violence call?
Wow.
My God.
You need that for
Officers claimed she threatened them with a gun, although no weapons were found in the home. Sheriff's deputy reports claimed that Yvette Smith disobeyed officers and was carrying a firearm, when both Willie Thomas and body camera footage showed otherwise. Deputy Danny Willis, who fatally shot Smith, was charged with murder. Relatives of Yvette said she was a kind woman who never intentionally disrespected or taunted law enforcement. But of course, you never have to. But he had also, see now mind you, the officer had previously been rejected as a patrol officer by other law enforcement agencies, including the Austin Police Department, where he failed the psychological exam.
Well,
Also, less than 2 weeks after the shooting, and while the investigation was ongoing, the Bay Strip Sheriff Terry Pickering told the Austin American Statesman that some of his staff had tampered with Willis's training records to correct mistakes that he had made while during the training. What we see here every time
I would like to know,
why is there always a gun involved?
if he failed a psych eval, why was he on active duty with a weapon?
Because it's the caucasity that he had available ready to hand out for you. Because I can say that. Why is there always seems to be a gun? And then you're so freaking stupid. You say that and there's never a gun.
The black man would have did that. They would have threw him under the jail, pipe light to him, and sent him a straw to give him some water.
I don't even think it would have gotten the straw.
He might not even.
He might have gotten a piece of hay if he was lucky, or one of those old
he would
school.
have been under the jail.
What do you want to call them? They used to call it the Indian gum twigs or whatever they were.
That's just like Shiloh. Shiloh has successfully relocated. She had. Some people say she made. Some people say she made her $1 million mark. She made sure she sent shout outs to all the people that had her back. And what it did was show us how far we still have to go.
The part thing is when you think about it and you continue to think about it, it's how far we haven't gone.
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
That they want to make it seem like they can throw all these legislations out. They can throw all this out. Here, we're going to do all this training for you guys, too, to make sure that these officers ain't going to kill you no more. Yeah. You know, but we're going to train you to shoot. No.
Every time I think about it,
I don't get it.
I get disgusted because it really, to me, shows the truth of America, because you rewarded this woman for a heinous act on a 5-year-old and awarded her to a degree that she is now a millionaire for all intents and purposes. A millionaire. There are people in America, hardworking people, who bust their ass every morning, every night, going to work, and they will never see $850,000.
Nobody would have ever been able to see that kind of money for some shit like that.
Through the grace, or not grace,
I can't even
through the bile and just absolute putrid nastiness that is racism, This woman
It's great. Oh my God.
is a millionaire. How to become a millionaire? Say something real nasty to a 5-year-old autistic child, and the racists will come like Field of Dreams and fill your pockets, and you will be able to relocate, and you will be able to hop on your X account and tell people thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much. You guys really had my back. As if that 5-year-old was trying to kill her or something and she needed to no, you had to relocate because
You're a trifling crackhead. I can't call you the B word. I'll just call you a crackhead.
So to my people, I say, we already know what it is. We already know what they're going to try and do. Y'all already ready for it. But for those that are not ready,
You better get ready, y'all. Because this shitstorm's coming.
get ready, man. Because they not even scared anymore, bro. They playing straight in our face now. And I'm gonna say this because I've been feeling this for a minute. There's this new commercial for the lottery. I don't know if it's just me. Because I see everything differently now.
Is it the Viva?
Oh, yeah. Loteria! Oh, Loteria! I just really feel like they playing in y'all. I just really feel like they playing in y'all faces. Oh, and we have guitars and peppers.
But you just deported how many people back? Not even back home.
But now y'all got the Loteria cards and y'all got guitars and peppers as the little symbols. I just really feel like that's in bad taste.
It's dirty.
I just really feel like
it's kind of dirty. I would like to take my loofah and.
It's like if they called it the niggeria, and now we have chicken and watermelon. Like, ugh. I mean, that's just. I mean,
that's basically.
You can't unhear it now.
I can't.
You can't unhear it now.
I can't.
When you hear the Loteria, I want you to listen to it really and say, for real, if they playing in our face, or did they didn't mean it like that? That's how we've been our whole life. Oh man, they didn't mean it like that. But you know what? They meant it like that because they just gave her almost $1 million for calling the little baby a.
Okay, all right. Because while we're on kids,
they meant it.
The last thing we're about to discuss here. If you remember this title, it was teen's death ruled by natural causes, was tased 5 times at hospital. 19-year-old George King Jr., who was brought to the hospital in May by a social worker after suffering multiple seizures. He suffered another seizure at the hospital and reportedly became aggressive and combative when healthcare workers tried to move him to ICU. He got whatever. Baltimore cops were called in. Why they needed to do that, I don't know. Baltimore cops were called in after he kicked a pregnant nurse. Shame on you, bitch. Shame on you. And then several security guards. Shame on the pregnant nurse. Police tased King 5 times during a struggle that reportedly lasted an hour. King went into cardiac arrest, suffered another seizure, and went into a coma. He was eventually declared brain dead and taken off life support. The chief medical examiner found an abscess on the spinal cord. An infection of the membranes surrounding the brain led to the extensive destruction of the cells comprising the brain, which likely contributed to the cardiac arrest. The autopsy also revealed no credible evidence that either the why does it do that? Evidence that either the restraint of the king by medical personnel or law enforcement, the use of the taser, or the administration of any of the sedating medications caused or contributed to King's death. No criminal charges were filed. What, whether or not police acted appropriately, he wasn't shot, nor does he appear to have suffered any injuries from physical hits. It's a difficult situation, not made simpler by the muddy and muddying nature of tasers, as explored in this reason. But my thing is, one, why police don't need to be involved. This is a medical issue. Two, shame on that pregnant nurse. Shame on her. Shame on her for even having any kind of dumbassness going through her brain to think that it was even a good idea to be in the same room as somebody who is being violent. So you allowed yourself to take your pregnant behind in there knowing, because I mean, there might be a couple more brain cells in there that like, hey, this person's violent. I have a baby. Maybe I shouldn't go in there. Hello? You're a dummy. And obviously you did not use the sedatives that you needed to use or restraints to put him in that you should have been using. And you tased a young boy who was going through medical problems. And you're thinking that that's not going to cause cardiac arrest. And you're blaming it on some other bullshit. But do they know?
I think they do.
There's always some sort of an excuse then. Well, the doctor this, the doctor that. That's the chief medical examiner of the police, bro. So, okay, we're just not going to get any outside intel other than what they say, right? Right, okay. So that's it. No charges brought up, no nothing. Hell, not even an administrative leave was made.
The thing is that every time these interactions happen, the black man or woman
always seems to die.
They lose big.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop, maybe.
If he's on maybe, yeah. They're
a slap on the wrist.
And you might get even luckier in a blue moon when you find a good scoop of ice cream out there. They actually get fucking prison time.
A life versus a slap on the wrist. A life.
Right.
Someone's life. Versus a slap on the wrist.
But if it was any Tom, Dick, and Harry.
You get to go home. You still bouncing your son, daughter on your knee. Still playing PlayStation. Still on the headphone with your boys. Yeah, I'm off work right now. It's messed up, yeah, but I'll be back. Will they family be back?
No, of course
Son,
not.
daughter, father, uncle, brother.
But see, people don't care.
Will they come back?
People don't care. People think that George Floyd should,
it's okay,
be released.
You feared for your life. You feared for your life, so it's okay.
Well,
for their family to never come home again.
Yeah, if you're so scared, you should take your sorry ass home.
If you're so scared, don't be a cop. If you're a coward, don't be a cop. If you're scared
to do the job, don't be a cop.
Pretty simple.
Simple pimple, bro.
If you're a coward, go be a bagger at a Myers.
Mm-hmm. Or Kroger or Walmart, wherever you're located at.
Be a greeter. Or work in the back, in the stock.
Go to Target. Or Wally World or whatever.
Oh, can you go to Target? Did they dispel the DEI yet?
Christ, I don't even know what the hell's going on with that anymore.
I saw somebody say they did.
I've never
backed off of it.
Oh, really?
I saw their foot traffic was down, their sales were down. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See what a little bit of stuff does. See, I don't pay tax. I don't shop. I don't give big businesses and stuff. The most I give is sadly where I work at to go grocery shopping.
Message.
I really don't. I don't spend my money like that. I spend money on the things that sadly I need. Which is my home, my vehicle, my children, and getting these messages out to everybody out there, whether or not there's people that like it or not. But I don't really care. Because that's why I'm still here. Smoking my doobie. Passing it back and forth. That's what we do. All right. So thanks again for coming out and seeing us and spending this time on this part of the weekend. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and get notified. We'll see you next time on Mad as Hell Monday. Pieces.